morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this morning Alan's brought me down to East Lothian on the southeast of Scotland, and we're just following the shorelines. Something I've never done for a long time is take photographs of the sea.
Nice area.
So we've came to a place called Cove, and as you can see it's a small harbour. So join us and let's see where this journey takes us this morning. There we go, so we're venturing down to the sands. Alan's going first. Brave man. We'll stand here to make sure he's alright. I know the easiest descent.
No easiest descent with us in the
You get your tripod that's going to trip you up. There we are. He's made it safely. So what we're going to do is head over to that area and then shoot back over the cottages here. Well, we're safely down on the beach. We had a wee slip there because the rocks. Alan's putting his spikes on his feet. I've left mine in the van. But as I turn round, what we're looking for here is a kind of composition where we can use that sand, hard kind of limestone bank with the cottages in the background. And we've got some nice seaweed on the rocks that could be quite nice if they're saturated green. We've got some waves overlapping on the reef here. So I'm just going to walk further back. Alan said there's a nice image for this area, so I'll get set up and we'll catch back soon. Trying to use these rocks on the beach as a leading line. If I turn the camera around, you'll see we've got rocks potentially as foreground interest, so I've went low. Alan's using these rocks. I'm no venturing on them because they're too slippy. Alan's got his spikes on, but Alan's using them as a leading line up to the back of the cottages. And then we've still got a bit of the sea on the left and some cliffs on the far right. Oh, Alan's took his shot, so that's great. We were hoping for a really nice colourful sunrise and it hasn't really happened, has it? But you never know, colour might come. We've still got, what time is it?
Past sunrise.
Ah, it's past sunrise, so yeah, it's going to be a grey morning. So any images I take here, I'll share these with you now. Alan's packing up because we're going to head up and see if we can get shots of the Cove Harbour and maybe get some nice foreground interest with the lobster pots. But we'll catch back up when we get to the edge of the cottages. So we've come up to the top of Cove Harbour. So what we're doing is just looking round, trying to take different compositions of the beach with the purple house, the entrance to the harbour area. And then what we'll do is kind of move round. We'll start to take shots of the cottage looking down to the harbour wall, and then maybe have a wee look at how we could incorporate some of these oyster pots. So we'll take 2 or 3 shots here and we'll share those images with you now. So I've just been taking some shots of the pots there, and I said a wee minute ago they were oyster pots. Alan reminded me they're lobster pots, so a wee slip up there, but that's okay, it's all part of the fun. There's Alan down there taking shots of the cottage, and we'll finally work our way down. But it's a beautiful area here. It's really interesting. So through that wall over there, there's a tunnel, and you walk from one side of the sandstone hill through the tunnel, and that brings you out at the entrance into the beach. And Cove Harbour's been here since the 1800s, and it was that tunnel. There are a number of tunnels, and those tunnels were used by smugglers. I mean, they were predominantly used by the fishermen to help store their fish when they brought their catch in to keep them cold. But smugglers did use it for some various bits of contraband, especially if ships got wrecked and some of that alcohol kind of floated up onto the beach. They would hide them in the tunnels. Anyway, that's the folklore. I'm sure someone will correct us if it's not correct. Right, so just walking down the harbour, taking quite a few shots there. Some lobster pots, and I've used a kind of low f-stop so that I've got some quite shallow depth of field, so a lot of things will be blurred out, and hopefully those images have turned out and I'll share them with you. some nice textures on the walls here. So if I turn the camera around, you can see how weather beaten the bricks are, and it's made some nice textures. And even on this wall here. So if I move closer, you'll get to see that over the hundreds of years, the toll that the weather has taken and how it's eroded a lot of that sandstone. And I'm just looking, there could be quite a nice composition there with those lobster pots and that window. I'll give it a wee try. If it works out, I'll share that image with you now. Alan's been busy photographing chains, but the cars move, so we're able to walk along the harbour wall now. And there's a couple of boats, 2-3 boats here actually. Oh aye. Alan had mentioned there's a cave. There, it's over there. And the tides went down, so it's accessible now. What we're trying to do is head up to the harbour wall here and see if there's a view, if we can climb it. Climb to the top of the harbour wall. We'll just turn round. We'll just look round and you can see there's not a huge amount for a seascape. However, Alan's pointed out that big rock over there, there's a hole in it. And if you could get to the other side, you could probably take a shot through right up into the harbour. And there's, you can see those little caves a lot clearer now. And that'll be the part of the old harbour wall there. So yeah, Alan was also mentioning that that blue cottage and the red cottage you can hire out. But I don't know, let's see if we can get a couple of shots here. We'll probably need a faster shutter speed if we're taking shots of the boats because they're moving, and then that way we can freeze them. But yeah, let's see what we get, and if we get any images here, we'll share them with you now. Venturing through the tunnel to try and get to the beach. It's a wee bit lighter now than it was earlier, so we'll just keep filming, and you can see, and where Alan is, there's loads of ducats in the walls. That's probably where the fishermen kept their catch, because it's absolutely bitter cold in here. I think it was 1 degree when we got the car, so it's really, really cold. Here we go, we're just through the other end of the tunnel. It's great having Alan in front of us for scale. Aye. There we are. That's us out. Right, I've got a different view of the harbour now. Oh, that's nice. It's really pretty. Oh aye, that's stunning. I have to admit, it looks a lot prettier for this side than it does the other. Right, I'm going to take a few shots for this angle and I'll share those images. Well, Alan's standing there taking a photo, and I don't know if we can make it out here, but he's got a wee friend, a wee robin. I'm just going to walk slowly because I don't want to scare the robin. The wee robin's keeping Alan company. Wow, so tame. That's amazing. Oh wow. I don't want to go too far because I want to scare it. That is pretty special. Ah, you got a friend for life there, Alan. All right, so finally at the base of the harbour, if I just show you where my composition at the moment is I'm using the beach as a leading line. I'm shooting towards the cave and I'm trying to get the harbour cottages in my image. I took a shot earlier through the wall. I don't know if that'll turn out. If it does, I'll share that with you. We're getting closer to the blue and the purple house, but what I'll do is I'll take a couple of shots here. I think Alan was busy doing a photo stack there, and I think he got disturbed.
Disturbed with the wee robin.
So he's had to do it all over again, so hopefully that's turned out for him. Right, I'll take these shots and I'll share these with you now. Alright, so we've had a good wee start to our trip this morning. That's us leaving Cove, and we'll catch back when we get to the next location. Right, so Alan and I have reached our next destination. I'll let Alan pronounce it.
I think it's Tininghame.
Tininghame.
Tininghame or Tininghame.
Tininghame or Tininghame. Anyway, we've got quite a fair woodland walk. So as you can see, I'm not quite sure how long it takes to get to the beach, but 5 minutes, Alan says. Yeah, our famous 5 minutes. We'll catch up at the beach. All right, so our 5 minutes-ish, we've arrived. Some nice trees here when you look at the sides. So I'll just hold the camera so you can see where Alan and I are walking. We're just coming onto the beach now. Quite a nice sandy path actually. So if I go to the right, we can get a higher view. Oh wow, look at that sky. Full of rain. That looks really nice. We get some nice images here with the skies. Wow. Oh, this is really nice. Oh wow, look at the Bass Rock. So that's the Bass Rock. We've got a really nice view here. It's quite misty as well.
Where we're going is just over that hill there. Behind
Oh, are we?
To the headland.
Ah, right. So Alan's taking us over here. What is it we're going to, Alan?
It's a little small cove that leads out, directs you to the Bass Rock.
So we'll still see the Bass Rock for the other side?
Rock for there, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. All right, well, let's catch up when we're over the other side. Well, Alan and I have reached the spot where Alan has suggested we get the photo. So I'll turn it around because it would be a cracking photo. So as you can see, if I stand next to the cliffs, the plan was to climb down to there and take a shot through the crack, and in the horizon should have been the Bass Rock, but we can't see it because of the rain. Completely disappeared. So we're probably going to head back to the car, try and get a bacon roll somewhere, I think.
Sounds like a plan.
Let the rain go off, and then hopefully we'll be blessed with drier weather in a little while. So we'll catch back when we're either having a bacon roll or we're at the next beach. Well, Alan and I have arrived in North Berwick, and as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful weather now. So we just went and had a roll and sausage and fried egg. Sorry, Slimming World. And because we've been up since 4 this morning, plus we've endured all that heavy rain, so we needed to get a wee break for the rain. And we've headed here, so I'll turn the camera around. There's Alan over there on the rocks. So we're just following this wee path just to see if we can get any viewpoints, and you never know, we might be able to get a photograph. That's the Bass Rock over there. And then we've got Craigleith Island, and then we've got Fidra on the other side with the Fidra Lighthouse. And then we'll just walk up these steps and let's see what we've got. Yep, a lot of signs around with danger. We'll just keep walking up and see what we can find. I think it's just a dead end. Sure enough, it's a dead end, but there's Alan over the barrier. Right, so Alan and I have walked to the edge here. There's Alan there. So we're just at the rock's edge, looking onto Craigleith and over to Fife. But what we're doing is I've changed lenses and I've put the big lens on, because what I want to try and do is get a shot of the Bass Rock, because to be fair, from a photographic point of view, there's not really that much here in this location, because we can't really get low and we can't get down. So we'll take 2 or 3 shots using the big lens, and whatever images I can capture, I'll share those with you now. I've managed, if you can see, that boat keeps swinging left and right quite a lot, quite ferociously at times. So using the long lens, I managed to get a couple of shots of the boat, particularly on its side. So if those images have turned out, I'll share those images with you. So I don't know if we're moving further in the beach or if we're going to another spot.
We're in Seacliff, I think.
Seacliff, what'd you call it?
Seacliff Beach.
Seacliff Beach. So we'll meet up with you again at Seacliff. Right, so that's us arrived at Seacliff Beach. Alan's just shown me around. And what we've got right in front of us is Bass Rock.
And they've moved the stairs.
New access path, 15 metres that direction.
We'll head north. There used to be steps down there. That little wooden staircase.
Sorry, no access due to erosion. Right, so what? Right, we'll just have a quick look from here so you can see what it's looking like. Very nice, and the weather's really kind to us so far. Right, we'll catch up when we get to the beach. So we're getting closer to our wee location, and that Seacliff Beach is famous in the UK because it's actually got the smallest harbour in the UK. It's 13 metres long, and luckily if it's 3 metres wide. That gap there that you can see over here, that's the entrance. So we are going to walk up.
Harbour's just in there.
There's Alan's just pointing out the old rusty winch. So that's the base of the harbour. So we'll go and have a look, and let's go and see the smallest harbour in the UK. Just coming up to the edge. Well, it's tiny. I'll walk back a wee bit. This is the smallest harbour in the UK. Holy. So it's now used predominantly for diving training and diving. But Alan was sharing with me that sometimes the boats come in and drop off their oysters or whatever catch. There's a fair climb up that ladder. And we've got quite a cool view over to the Bass Rock as we walk past the small harbour. Oh aye, quite a nice flat plateau. That's really smart. Right, we'll see if we can get some photos. Alright, so we took some overhead shots there with a drone of the smallest harbour in the UK, not just Scotland but the UK. And what I'll do is, I'll share some of that footage with you. Well, so we've managed to take footage of the smallest harbour in the UK. Now Alan and I have got this amazing view over to the Bass Rock. But this is quite a tricky image. This wee camera is not going to show you, but for our cameras, that's really dark in the foreground and the Bass Rock is really bright. But Alan, just to put you on the spot, how would you go about taking this shot?
I'll take the option of bracketing. Because the foreground's so dark, I've bracketed 5 shots, 2 shots under, 2 shots over, so that I can blend them together and be able to get detail throughout.
And see, when you blend, how do you typically blend?
I use Photoshop. I blend them in Photoshop. You just put them into layers, and then there's an option to go into edit and then auto blend.
Yep.
Do
Right.
it that way, yeah.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Right, because I've been doing HDR merge in Lightroom to bring my exposure bracket and images together. Wow, so there you are. There's multiple ways of blending your images. So what I'll do is I'll try Alan's technique, and if we've got time I'll show you. If not, here's the images that we've taken here now. I'm trying to get the wrought iron winch and scene in the composition with Tantallon Castle. So what I've done is I've just set up the composition where I'm focusing in on the castle, and then I'll do a second image where I'll focus in on the winch. Now I'm shooting at f11, so I'm hoping that I will get sharpness back to front, but just to double check and to make sure, I've got my two sets of images, and then that should give me sharpness if I need it as an option later on. And that looks like a really nice composition. This is a stunning area. We're so lucky the sun's come out now, and Alan and I are just now working the scene. So any more images I take here, I'll share these with you now. Well,
When the sun goes away,
hi. Alan and I have set up right on the top edge of the cliff here, and I can assure you there's not much in front of us other than a big drop. So what we're trying to do is just get an alternative angle and view of the Bass Rock, and then St Baldred's boat or St Baldred's cross over on the far right there, we'll get a shot of that. And yeah, we're hanging on because it's got a wee bit windy up here, the sun's away, so it's getting a wee bit nippier because the sun's away for as at the moment. I'm sure it'll come back. And those images we take, we'll share them with you now. Alright, so Alan and I are just finished here, so we're going to head back across the beach, and we're playing about there with some long exposures. So if those long exposure shots have worked out, we'll share them with you now, and we'll catch up at the beach. So as Alan and I are walking along the beach, we've just seen, I'll turn the camera around, we've no idea what that's called, but all of that rock is blue. It's like a turquoise blue, and if I can't bring the camera down closer, you can see it. That's quite impressive. So if anybody that's watching this knows why that rock's blue, please put in the comments and let us know, because we've never seen that before. Alright, so we've come to the beach's edge, but I'm trying to take a shot of St Baldred's cross, and I'm trying to get these rocks in the foreground. I'm also using a slow shutter speed, so I've got a 1.6 seconds, just so that I've got a softness in the water. I'll bring that back to 1.6. So that's working for me. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the camera around and use those boulders as a leading line, because the water's coming in over it, and I'll see if I can get a shot of the Bass Rock. Right, I keep moving around because it's like a every time the water comes in and the water hits the feet of my tripod, the tripod's sinking in the sand. Big waves coming, I'll just keep pressing and hope that some of these work, because what I want to try and do is get the water coming round the rocks here that's in front of me. I'm just having to be really careful that that rock isn't coming on me, and to be fair, I've got some really nice waves coming. The waves are smashing. I've got some nice streaks of water off these lines here. Right, I'll keep taking these shots, and if any of them work out, I'll share these images with you now. Alright, so Alan and I have come to our last beach today, Yellow Craig Beach. And the island you can see there is Fidra Island, and the Fidra Lighthouse was built in 1885. But Fidra Island is really famous because Fidra Island is the inspiration for Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island book. And also, if I pick the camera up, and if you can see that island there, that's the island of Lamb. And Uri Geller, the famous spoon bender, Uri Geller bought that in 2009. So quite a lot of heritage and famous people around this area. So what we're going to do here, I'll just set the tripod back. We've lost the light. We've got no light on the island anymore. So what we're trying to do is capture the background, because we've got some beautiful clouds over there in the west. And then what we're also trying to do is there's a little archway under, just to the right at the bottom of the lighthouse, and see if we can see through the archway. Now the most I can get is 70 mils, so I'm not going to be able to zoom in. But what I can do is I'll take the shot and I might be able to crop it, and likewise it's difficult to try and get shots of Lamb Island because it's kind of too far away. But any other shots we get here, I'll share them with you now. Oh well, what a great day we've had, Alan.
Good day out, yeah.
We've had all 4 seasons except for snow, so it's been, and it's absolutely, you can't feel it in the camera, but it's freezing cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very cold. But thanks so much to Alan for bringing me down to East Lothian and bringing me around all these beach areas and rocks. It's just been absolutely amazing and new learning for me, because it's seascapes, isn't it, what I do? Yeah. And I must admit, the last shots in the last beach, those slow shutter speeds, If they turn out, I think they might be the best images for me for the day. Because we've had some nice ones at Cove.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows? And I think with the pier, the old harbour at Seafield, that was quite nice. So, I don't know, we'll wait and see.
Well, it was kind of a whirlwind tour, East Lothian, just because you don't know the area.
No, that's right.
So I kind of tried to pick 2 or 3 different places. There was other places we could have got to if the weather was a bit better, but tide times are important when you're doing coastal photography. So certain places are good at high tide and others at low tide. So high tide's coming.
High tide's definitely coming.
So yeah, well, I'll show you another couple of places as we're driving home that we could try on another day. And yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been good coming out with you.
Excellent, thanks again, Alan. That's brilliant. Well, here's hoping we can make a video of this. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because you know it's free. And if you press the bell notification, that'll let you know the next time I post a video. Thanks again to Alan.
Thank you.
And here's to the next video.